Today I would like to share with you our latest creation, the new Continental GT Cabriolet. The work we did on the design of the new GT Cabriolet, we focused in three key directions, which was one, general proportions and stance, where we wanted to give the car a lower feel and a sportier feel at the same time. Secondly, we wanted to capture the key lines that made the first generation of the Continental GTs become such a design icon and involve and bring this language into the 21st century. And thirdly, we wanted to give more of a bespoke and handmade feel for the whole car. It's a very simple design. It's basically made of three elements. It's the bonnet and the two wings. We have the new grille, which this time sits substantially lower than before and is a lot wider as well. And that is combined with the four round headlights. This time around, the inner headlamp is substantially larger than the previous generation. On the side of the car, we have the front wing, which is made out of a single piece of aluminum. We designers wanted to give this a combination of negatives and positives combined with a very sharp line, which gives this sense of precision and sharpness for the whole side of the car. The new Continental GTC has very special and unique proportion. It is basically a combination of a very horizontal belt line that comes around the whole soft top. That's combined with the two key elements, which is the power line that comes from the front wheel with the rear haunch, which is a very strong element of the Continental series. The body is supported by a unique 21-inch 10-spoke wheel. And surrounded the back end of the car, we have eliminated the traditional technical solutions where you have short lines that go through the tail lamp. The rear end is quite simple. It's a combination of two lines that comes around the boot area, surrounds the number plate aperture, and the horizontal lines that cut is across. The whole idea and the design around the new Continental GTC was to make sure that the car looked as good with the roof up and the roof down, to find the harmony between interior and exterior.
And with an interior for a convertible, it's very important we have a balance with the outside of the car. And this all starts with what we call the chrome line that goes around the whole of the interior. And for me, this is like a picture frame around a piece of art. Then looking at the proportions of the headrest, it's important we have a balance between the front and the rear of the car. Then as you approach the car, you start to see the line of the door. It was important to have these graphic lines that come off the front door and into the rear, balancing with the lines on the outside of the car. So as you approach the car, it all works in harmony. Then you look at the interior, and the first thing you'll notice is how slim these seats are. And the reason we've achieved this is because we've taken the seat belt off the seat and put it onto what we call the rear quarter. This has enabled us to lose some weight in the seats. We've got 25 kilograms out of the seats, and we've gained 25 millimeters more space in the back. Then as you look at the front of the seat, we've introduced a new feature. And this is called a neck scarf that blows hot air onto the top of the shoulders and also onto the back of the neck. This is surrounded by what we call the Cobra style, where it's wide on the shoulders and then tapers in around the waist. We've taken this and put this into the rears, and the headrest style is also complemented into the rear. And then from the door style, you see the lines coming through with the stitch graphics and the wood into the rear compartment. So with the line at the top of the waist rail here, you can see how that connects into the rear quarter. And the front of this line connects with what we call the instrument panel. And there's a line that goes across the car, down through the centre and back up on the other side. And this complements the shape of the Bentley wings. So getting into the car, you can see here we have the latest infotainment system. So this is an 8-inch touchscreen with 30 gigabytes of memory. Information that you have here in the infotainment system is duplicated in front of the driver on a larger screen. But either side of that we have the true analog dials, but the whole area has been opened up. So the theme of the instrument panel is basically the Bentley wings, and you can see the line coming off the waist rail here, and it cuts across the car and back up the other side. and has a lovely symmetry to it. And this creates actually a natural stowage area down here for things like phones or iPods. And then into this area, we're always fighting as designers for this premium space, which is where we want the cup holders, so you can have your cups in and have your hand on the armrest. So we came up with this idea of basically having a glass case that can open up and you can put your glasses in, and then this creates a natural lid anyway for the cup holder that then clips in over the top. The new Bentley Continental GTC delivers style with substance.